Hi there, Cancer. I'm Jennifer Angel. This is my report for you for September 2022. Let's see what's happening. There's a lot going on this month. And for you, it's mainly happening in your solar third and fourth house. So the solar third house is very much about creativity, communication, and education. So if you've been thinking about learning something new, starting something new, just getting organized. And this is a really good time to do it, particularly as Mercury, a planet of communication, education, and creativity, is going retrograde. Yes, we're heading into another Mercury retrograde. Not my most favorite transit, I must say, but it's very useful. It's certainly going to be very useful for you this month if you are embarking on something creative or learning something new. So let's have a look at the dates here. So it's going to go retrograde. I'm going to mention two dates. So we're working around the world. So for instance, Mercury will go retrograde the 9th or 10th, depending on where you are in the world. Okay. So when it does start to go retrograde, it's in your area of home and family. So if you've got sort of some unfinished business around home and family, then this is a great time to get down, have that discussion, or just sort of get to a point where you can agree to disagree at least. Okay. And sort of resolve things as it moves back around the 23rd, 24th to your solar third house. And Mercury does, rule the third house. So it's strong in this area, and this area in your solar chart, Cancer, is one of the signs, Virgo, that Mercury actually rules. So it's very comfortable, let's say, here. And even though in a retrograde, it can sort of, get a little messy. You want to watch, when and how you're doing things. You want to pay more attention, be more aware of your surroundings. You think twice about before you go out, make sure you got the keys in your bag and all the rest of it. It is a great time for learning and education, and it is a great time just to get organized. Okay, it's perfect for that. And because it's in the sign of Libra to start with, which is all about relationships, and in your point, your relationships around family and to do with the home, and then it goes back into Virgo on 23rd, 24th. This is very much about learning and very much about the details. You can get a greater level of, let's say, understanding in that sense. So in this point, it's not my favorite transit. It happens like 3, maybe even 4 times a year sometimes. It is very useful. The other things that are happening, you have like Mars in the sign before yours. So, excuse me, Mars in this area really heightens your instincts, and heightens your intuition. You're highly intuitive anyway, because you're a water sign. So, when you can get those inspired thoughts through, those messages that just come through, or that feeling, that gut feeling, or that intuitive feeling, you want to pay attention to it. It can come in a flash, and so don't disregard it and say, oh, okay, let's take notice of that. All right. And so that's the beauty about Mars in this position. There are also 2 very favorable aspects coming off Mars. The first one is right at the start of the month, kicks the month off, and it's with Jupiter. Now, Jupiter is the planet of abundance, expansion, knowledge, a greater level of knowledge, a philosophical level of knowledge, or universal laws, cosmology even. And this is in your career zone. So in your career zone, you put all that together, like the changes or the insight that you can get this month can give you, like, basically virtually just give you the insight for changes you want to make and how you want to move forward. Okay, so pay attention to that. The other area that Mars is connected with is with Saturn, and that's going to be in your solar 8th house. So this really allows you a couple of different things. If you've got, and we bring in, when we look at the whole chart, and I mentioned before about the family business, this aspect with Saturn and Mars can highlight or bring attention to father figures, to do with family, and also to do with industry or work, like establishments. So in that sense, if you're owed some money on a business level, or through establishments, and that can mean anything to do like money that people owe you, or loans, or winnings, or insurances, anything that's outside of the money you would normally get from going to work and being paid. Okay, so that can come through for you now. So there's a couple of different things there with this aspect. As I said, you could be resolving some family issues, particularly to do with males, or your father in the family, or guardian, a male guardian, and also favorable to come through for monetary items. So all in all, that's looking pretty good. All right, let's finish off and talk about the moons. Full moon, new moon, every month. This week your new moon is in the family, home and family area. So that does indicate that if you are doing something or have some unfinished business in that area, it's going to work out favorably, because the new moon gives you a new start, a new beginning. Okay. So that's good news. And the full moon and the new moon is later in the month, around the 24th, 25th. And the full moon is earlier in the month, around the 9th and 10th. Once again, those 2 dates, depending where you are in the world. And the full moon, of course, you're ruled by the moon. So anything that happens with the moon is going to have an effect on you, is in your area of travel, actually, long distance travel. If you're planning on having a trip, you want to, in particular as Mercury is retrograde this month, you want to watch the details, like make sure that you have a good understanding of how things are, where things are heading. Check the details and make sure everything is in line the way that you wanted. Very, very important with the Mercury retrograde. This also opens the door for you on a spiritual or religious level, and a greater understanding and a greater level of teachings as well, which leads to your self-development. So this is it's a nice month. Even though we've got that retrograde, it's still going to end up being a nice month. I certainly hope it's going to end up that way for you personally. And I thank you for watching, and I'd love it if you could share this or subscribe, and I look forward to seeing you next month. Okay, bye for now.